is we are been talking about Movement Maker November monthly challenge, resilience, right? So how to, you know what, I find it build how to let it go muscle. Everything is muscle for me, right? Is also, you are also, that's a resilience. That's a resilience mindset. You know, it takes muscle. You need a muscle to let it go. Let it go of the past, right? There are lots of people, they are hanging on the past. What's happened before. They're hanging on to it. They can't let it go. They can't. And then they're suffering. Not doing anything for yourself and the others. You poison to yourself and for the other. And also the others. Not doing anything. Right? Yeah. So, but some people, it's a habit. It's a habit. They just keep talking, keep complaining, right? Keep being sad, whatever happened. Like 5 years ago, week ago, like I said, 10 years ago, right? And then like the people around her or him, family, they get tired of hearing your past, your painful experience. You don't grow up. You know what? We don't mind hearing if you learn, has something happened in the past. If you learn something from it and turn into something really good and helping to serve, right? We like it. It's growing. It's helping. But some people, they're still, right, sharing. You want to share? You want to hear my past? Like you want to happen what's happened to me 5 years ago, 30 years ago? You know what? I'll share it. It's rotten. I don't want to have rotten food. Rotten experience. It's like, okay, you give me, stink. It's rotten. I think if I eat this, right? I know you're offering it, but if I eat this, I think I'm going to have a diarrhea. I'm going to get myself sick, right? That happens. It's funny, but it happened to so many people. I used to have indigestions, right? I used to have bellyache, physical bellyache, right? Because of people sharing it, the rotten experience, or people spreading it, rotten experience. And I wasn't really resilient person, maybe. I had some kind of weakness. Yes, people pleaser, right? That's part of it too, right? That's why I just like, okay, all right, I'll listen to you. All right, wow, that's hard. That's hurt. It is in my mind. I just like, okay, I think I heard 1,000 times. I get tired of hearing it. Oh my gosh. By listening his or her painful like experience again and again, I starting to have headache. Not doing anything, right? For not anything good for you. You have that experience, right? Especially, it's a holiday season is coming. Thanksgiving Day is coming, what, tomorrow in the States, right? And Christmas is coming. In Japan, New Year's is coming. I don't know what's going on in India. Sorry, Oman. Some kind of like, the holiday things coming in India too. Like, and towards end of the year. I'm not quite sure. If you maybe have some kind of holidays, let me know. You can just like leave a comment. So maybe I will know, right? So it's sometimes you don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear, like you don't want to hear aunt, uncle, like families, get together. Just like, oh my gosh, that aunt, oh my gosh. Like, Aunt Yuko. Maybe I shouldn't use it, but oh my gosh, how do I have to listen? And maybe I say Aunt, Uncle Bob. Okay, so sorry, Bob. There's no Bob in here anyway. So just like, oh my gosh, I have to listen Uncle Bob's painful story again. Or, those ones. I hate that. It's turned to my wine to very sour wine, right? It's just like, oh my gosh. So, I know, I understand. And you feel like you want to run away, right? So, those kind of things. I find it's something, it's really working. It's really good for me too, right? I want to share the one things I find it's working, and then I suggest to my friend it's working too, right? Maybe I should suggest two things actually. Sorry, I keep changing story, but it's okay. This is the beauty of IG Live, right? IG Live is, I know maybe sometimes I don't show up perfect script. I don't have script much, but perfect stories, perfect things, right? Maybe sometimes my story goes all over, but it's okay because it's I'm in the process of becoming, right, great speaker and life coach, and I show up almost every day IG Live to be a life coach, to be a great life coach. Thank you, Tessa. Great speaker. So sometimes my story goes everywhere. It's okay. Do not worry about it because you can polish. You are polishing, right? I am polishing my skills, my by showing up here. So thank you. Anyway, so yeah, like I was kind of sharing how to deal with the people, negative people. They're talking about the past all the time, right? I really like your idea too. Have a sip of wine. Don't get involved. Just, right? Those ones, very great idea. When somebody's starting to talk something, especially my family. I should, I hope my family's gonna watch this. Used to be, not anymore. Used to be, Like, it's just, sometimes some of my family members love politics, argument. I don't say discussions. I turn into argument, right? A very personal and turn into the politics, turn into like racism, like all the world's problem. And then it's crazy. So I just didn't like to hear that too, right? So when those things I've learned, I know that I'm not going to get involved. I've learned that I will leave the table kindly, help to my mother-in-law, like, you want to make mashed potatoes? I help with mashed potatoes, right? Start helping somebody. Just don't get involved, right? If you don't like the place, simply leave, or if family members talking about the other family members, not in the place, right? Or not be, sometimes some family members didn't come, right? Don't come. And then that person, the family members talking about, like I said, Auntie Susie. Sorry, Susie. This is nothing. I hope there's no Susie. It's talking about, Auntie Susie, she is always miserable. Oh my gosh, she's not here. When she comes, she doesn't smile, she doesn't want to get involved. What's wrong with her, right? So when somebody's starting talking like that, you simply leave. If you don't like the energy, I don't. I usually, don't say anything because myself, actually, since I was little, when negative conversation happening, right? Something, I couldn't get in there. I don't know. I didn't really have a talent to be involved. Hey, Ichiro-san, thank you so much for coming. For some reason. And even if maybe I tried to get involved, but the gossip, whatever, and then I started talking, I started to pretend, agree with those people. I'm like a Pinocchio, right? I think it's Pinocchio. In Japanese, we say Pinocchio. My, right, nose, Pinocchio or something. My nose started growing longer and longer. And then my eyeballs starting to get, right, going everywhere. And then my leg is starting to, it shows, obviously. So, I don't know, myself, it's my nature. I can't just involve something I cannot really agree on. Like, I cannot even pretend. So, anyway, yeah, those things happen. Simply leave. simply leave or simply use Tessa Marie's technique. Have a sip. That's zip, right? That's another technique. And then one more thing. It's still okay. How to have a muscle, how to exercise, let it go things, right? How to let it go. The past, whatever has already happened. You keep complaining. This happens for 30 years. Some people, they're still talking about 30 years, whatever's happened. It's already rotten. I don't want to have rotten story. Yes, I am so happy that story turning to kimchi. That story turning to yogurt, probiotic, because it's good for me, right? But I just don't want to have rotten things. I understand you pay for experience, yes. But when you share people, it's okay to complain a little bit, but it's like most people, they do not want to hear for 1 week all the time, or 1 year all the time, or every time I see Auntie Susan, her story is always same, painful story. I get tired of hearing. I understand, right? Things. Anyway, so there is a technique. Another thing is, okay, my husband, I share it because he's not on Instagram. He doesn't really care, actually. He is opposite of me. I forget very easy. Myself, I already have result and muscle, let it go muscle, right? From my experience. So I let it go pass very easy. Sometimes I don't even remember it because I am just go, always busy to keep just engaged in this moment, right? So anyway, so my husband, he's something happens, he just I always make fun of it. It's a topic of this week. All week long, every time he opened his mouth, same complaint, all the time, guarantee. I just oh, there you go. It's the same thing, same topic. Maybe something bothered at work, all week long, same topic. Sometimes he just stopped talking, and 2 weeks later, and all week long, same topic. We get tired of hearing. I don't say I, right? We get tired of hearing it, family. So, you know what? I used to against him. I used to tell him, you shouldn't talk like that. I understand you complain, you have something hard at work, but we don't want to hear that. I used to deny, or I used to tell him, just do not talk. Complaint doesn't help, right? But every time I say that, my husband just wow, you're not a good wife. You're not supportive. You know what? I want you to listen. He used to say that. I said, okay, maybe I should change. Okay, so you know what? It's a partnership. You have to. I shouldn't say I have to. Maybe I have to. You know what? You cannot ignore. I made a commitment to stay with my husband, right? I love him so much. So I just I forgot my commitment. So, all right. So what should I do? So I had one really great technique I found and I use, and it's really, really, really working. The thing is, when I pick up my husband from work, right? Work to my house about 7 minutes, right? So I decided to, all right, it's complaining time. And a little, I don't know, I get bitchy time, bitching. Okay, let's just bitching what happened at work. Sorry, Tessa. So I told him, you know what? Okay, you get in the car. So how is your work? And I told him, you are allowed for 7 minutes until you get home, right? You are allowed to complain, bitching, as much as you want, right? Go right ahead. This is your place. It's in a car, right? It's in a car. So he's just like, oh, okay. It's a right place, right time. Because, right after work, he's just like, he gets frustrated. He works so hard, but sometimes sometimes he can't get help. And he tries so hard running around taking care of the buildings, right? Of course he complains. He has a lot of frustrations. So, okay, I'm his partner. I gotta find a way to support him. So I created the support system. 7 minutes bitching time. All you want. Just like all you can eat, right? Like a buffet. Just bitching, complaining, whatever you want. So he started doing that. But when you're driving, when you're reading rail, it's hard to listen. When I'm driving, what I have to do is, my first priority is to drive safe. I have to drive really safe, right? So I find it, because this is my priority, like this, right? So listening his complaining what happened at work, it is my priority, but it's not my priority. It's my brain automatically concentrate my priority, right? So what happened is he's complaining, right? But turning to background music to me, right? Background music to me, because the brain only can pick one thing at a time. There's no multitask actually, right? It says, oh, multitask. But actually, you are doing one thing at a time, right? You are driving, and I know you're listening to radio, right? You can hear it, but what are you doing? What are you doing? Its priority is that thing, brain trying to concentrate, right? So he turned into like BGM. So therefore, I don't have to take it really, really personal. Whatever he's complaining, it doesn't hurt me anymore, because that turned into music, right? Background music. Hey, English lover, thank you so much for coming. And then sometimes it's get really heat up, and it's starting to fogging a little bit in the car, right? The windows, whatever. And then I start to feel. But even if turning to background music, right? Sometimes get a little bit of heat up. I just like, oof, I feel a little heat, right? Oh my gosh, oh, there you go. It's getting a little stuffy here. So I just like, I open. Actually, mine's automatic, but it's like, I open. Open the window a little bit and just let the air go. And as soon as I feel the cool air back, I just get back to like turning to background music. It's funny, but this physical technique, right, really, really, really help. So if you have the situation, if kids complain, partner complain, your in-law complain, whoever, maybe wind up you in a situation you gotta with them in the car. My situation, right? I mean, the same, maybe similar situation. Try this technique. Or like, oh my gosh, I don't drive my husband. All right. That's okay. But when he comes home from work, why don't you create a time for him? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, right? Talking time, or whatever happened to work. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. It doesn't matter, complain, whatever. And he feels so much better. So he doesn't have to keep talking same things for a whole week. The reason he keeps complaining is because he feels like nobody's listening to me, right? So by me creating the 7 minutes car ride, right? And he's just like, oh, you can do it. Like, you can complain as much as you want. The bitchy time, let's start, right? That time really, really helping. So anyway, same things the kids do. You gotta have time with your kids. When kids come home, whenever you have time, at least once a day, and I shouldn't say, at least every day, once a day. If you don't have a time, you have a time, right? With your kids, for your kids. I just like, I never have a time with my kids. I'm too busy. Really? Do you? You don't even have a time for 2 minutes? You don't even have a time for 5 minutes to listen, kids, what's happened to school? What's going on? You will have a time. You have to create a time, right? You gotta, that's why, that's like, that way, I find it like, I don't know, I don't try not to do this. Okay, wait, I'm losing thought right now. All right, this is a good technique. Sometimes I lose my thought somewhere. So sometimes the glass drinking, have a sip of water really, really helps too, right? Have a sip of water, and then when you're talking, hey, Michael, thank you so much, good morning, really help. And have a sip of wine at dinner table for holiday season especially. Really, really, really help. It's a small tip, right? But that's super, super helpful, right? Okay, so I'll get back to my talk. So, yeah, just try it. Gotta have a time, right? If you create a time for them, right? And then they will have a muscle. Let it go muscle. Let it go. It's so important. If you let it go, what's happened to the past, right? And then the new things come. And they feel much lighter, right? They feel better. And then by you doing it, right? And they are going to know how to do it, right? You are showing it. You are showing it. So you are helping your partner and then your friends or your kids do it, them too. So what's going to happen is maybe when my son, right, he's going to have a muscle to listen to his partner, right? And then what's happened? Are you okay? What's going on today? And maybe she's starting to open up. And then he has a listen. He has a muscle to listen. And then, he can create that. Like, let's talk. We'll have a maybe conversation time. 30 minutes. It doesn't have to necessarily like bitchy time, right? But just like, let's have a conversation. What's happened? And that's moment it's like really help to like have, how do I say? It's really working. It's really working. So, and then by you doing that, like I said, you are teaching to the people that skill too. Hey, thank you so much. Miracle Code Life. I love your Instagram name. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. So anyway, I hope my technique and Tessa's technique really help, right? Like just Tessa's technique is if you just what was it? Like if you get the holiday season, you get together and you just there's a negative situations like family gossip, whatever, like it's just the politics and like it's just everything is happening. It's turning chaos. But it's something you wanted to say something, but it. You are smart enough to say not to say anything, right? Not to say anything sometimes takes a courage, right? And then not to say anything, not to get involved. That makes you smart, right? And then it's like sometimes action, have a little action, help you to prevent, help you to make it more smart. It's a smarter too. So Tessa says, if you don't want to get it, just you want to say something, but I think this one is gonna create, I don't know, the chaos, and I'm gonna wind up like, why did I say that? I shouldn't say that. Why did I get involved? I shouldn't get involved. That moment, have a sip of wine. I don't know, maybe whiskey, brandy, whatever, just water, soda, whatever. That helps, and that'll give you a pause, and just like. And when you have the pause, it gives you a little time and then you're not gonna just like not open your mouth, right? Sometimes not opening your mouth is a good thing, right? So that's the things too. Another technique is, right, just to have a time. It just have a created time for your family and partner who always complain a lot. You can't run away. You can run away actually, but you have a choice. I choose not to run away. I choose not to against it. I choose to accept my husband's situation, right? Of course, it's a hard job. You know, when you go out there work, it's hard things. And then, you know what? I chose to listen for 7 minutes in the car. 7 minutes when I pick my husband up at work. 7 minutes. He can just bitch, complain, whatever he wants. And it's done. When we get to home, I just like, we're home. And then I could see I can see he feels better. And he learned. Maybe I disciplined him. Maybe I trained him. And he just like, okay, all right, I'm gonna take a shower. It's done. Taking shower really helps, right? Taking shower really helps to just let it go. Finish, down the drain. And then you can start creating new day, right? So that really helped too. So anyway, I hope you guys thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining I need glasses. There you go. Miracle Code Life 13. Thank you so much. Thank you, Tessa, Aman, Ichiro-san, and Michael. All right. I am hoping you guys a great Wednesday. All right. Take care.